Because I feel like if you are on Instagram, you are going to have to post at least once or twice a week just to have some content showing up there. Because I feel like it makes a worse impression on people when you have an account somewhere, but you're not maintaining it. Because then the question to me almost immediately comes up, is that person still working? Yes or no?
You're listening to Podcasting for Experts, with honest conversations about using podcasting as a tool to grow your reach, increase your audience, make a positive impact on the world, and most importantly, to get paid for your efforts. I'm your host, Jess, and we are Pristine Podcasts. Let's talk podcasting.
Hey, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 3. I'm Jess, co-founder at Pristine Podcast, and in today's episode, I want to go over the age-old debate of whether you really need to be on all of the social media platforms. So this is something that I've personally been thinking about a lot recently because I noticed that this year we were doing a lot. So I'm doing guest interviews, collaborations. I'm doing this podcast, which means that I'm interviewing people for the podcast and, planning all the content, recording the solo episodes, all the good stuff. We are repurposing the show in all the places. But then I noticed when I was doing our year in review that a lot of our time was being spent on Instagram, for example. But on all of the people that reached out to work with us, nobody actually said, hey, I found you on Instagram. So I was sitting down with our team to plan what we're going to be doing in 2022. And I was like, I'm not really sure that I want to be putting this amount of effort into a platform that I'm not actually sure is doing a lot for us. So we decided to actually already scale it way back for the upcoming weeks, while we focus our time and effort on doing more of the things that are working for us right now. So doing more collaborations, bundles, using other platforms more, building our email list, redoing our website, optimizing our content, and all that good stuff. So I was kind of debating whether we should continue to have a presence on those platforms at all if we're not really dedicating much effort to it. Because I feel like if you are on Instagram, you are going to have to post at least once or twice a week just to have some content showing up there. Because I feel like it makes a worse impression on people when you have an account somewhere, but you're not maintaining it. Because then the question to me almost immediately comes up, is that person still working? Yes or no? So I feel like if we are going to be having an account on Twitter, then there's got to be a maintenance amount of content going out on Twitter, even if we're not on that platform. So there's still going to be time and effort dedicated towards maintaining that if we keep it open. So to me, if you're choosing to not be on a platform, you have to be not on it at all. If you're searching Pristine Podcasts, you're not going to find us. And frankly, I'm kind of like probably many of you, a little bit too scared to just switch it off. Although I'm not sure what I'm actually scared of because it doesn't make any sense because we are not there at all anyways. And it's not like we're getting hundreds of inquiries from that pathway and I am switching it off. So that is an irrational fear. I don't know, is it FOMO that I'm saying hey, I want to be there even if I'm not there anyways? It doesn't make any sense. So personally, I don't believe that you actually need to be in places that you don't want to be in. Because if you don't like something, there is always another way. If you're looking hard enough, if you're trying hard enough. So I know that if we close our account on Twitter, nothing is going to happen because I don't even like using it. If we closed our account on Instagram, it would be a bit different. I feel like it is one of the kind of platforms that our people do use a huge amount. I just don't personally love it because the communication feels very disjointed and it's a bit clunky to use. And I'm not really into the whole look at my amazing thing, which I'm just really showing off to make you feel a bit bad. Unfortunately, there's a lot of that kind of stuff happening and that's what I'm seeing a lot of. Like here, I'm going to pretend that I'm sharing my top tips for this, but really I'm just sharing my butt for no reason whatsoever. And then the other thing is that when you're on platforms, you get spam comments, you get spam DMs that you have to remove and things like that. And you have to find the good stuff. I have quite a few genuine collaboration requests that come in, or requests from people who I might actually be interested in working with or collaborating with. So that's cool. It's just when your account is called Rosemary ____ 1 2 3 4 7 8 9 ______. That's probably how many times you've been blocked and banned from Instagram already. So most likely it's not going to be a genuine DM. So those are all things that you have to deal with when you are present on a platform. So I am kind of debating whether I should just switch everything off that I am really not going to use at all. And that is sure on the menu for maybe later on in 2022. It's something that I have been thinking about quite intensely. So I think that there's other alternatives, and I think that you can build a very successful business without being on TikTok. Like, I don't have an account on TikTok and I'm not going to open one. I find it's the most nuisance of a platform right now. I don't like the company ethics from what I've heard from people who've worked for TikTok. So it's just not a company I would support. It's not the kind of entertainment I want to receive. I hate to have to passively hear it. YouTube Shorts, Reels, TikTok could die as far as I'm concerned tomorrow, and I wouldn't even notice they were gone. So I'm not going to be on that platform because it legit winds me up. But the other ones are kind of a bit like, yeah, I could like that if I dedicated more time to it, but I don't really want to dedicate more time to it. Like I said, I believe that you don't have to be on a platform that you don't want to be on, and that there is another way that you can market yourself that is more in line with the stuff that you enjoy and that you find fun. But I really think when you are saying, oh, I don't like social media at all, I hate social media, you have to just double check. Is it that you hate all social media? Is it that you hate how people are using it? Or is it that you're a little bit scared about marketing your products and services, and it's manifesting as, hey, if I don't want to be on social media, I don't have to be, so I'm choosing not to be, so I don't have to market myself? It could be that you're feeling a little bit scared about sharing. And then you have to dive into the question, why am I hiding myself and my stuff? So I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day who also works online right now, but she's employed by somebody else. And I was talking to her about her desire to have her own business where she gets to decide the values, and she gets to decide who the customer is going to be, and she gets to decide just who she wants to work with and how she wants to help them and what she wants to help them get to. So she's discovering kind of like a value conflict there. And the way to get around the value conflict is to have your own show, and then you decide what the values are, and you're always going to be in alignment with that. Now, the thing is, something that she's mentioned is that she's kind of allergic to all types of marketing. She hates all of it. And she wouldn't be on social media, and she wouldn't want to do blogging, and she wouldn't want to do a podcast, and she wouldn't do video, and all those things. She has a whole list of things that she just wouldn't be doing, and it basically means that she wouldn't be doing any marketing. And she also doesn't like to get on sales calls either, because she just wants to deliver the end service, and she doesn't want to do any of the other things. When you're looking to start a one-man show to build a lifestyle business, you're kind of the person that's having to do all of the pieces of it. And it's going to be very difficult if you're allergic to all marketing and all sales to build a business, right? So then this issue isn't really that the problem is the marketing or which platforms should I be on or shouldn't I be on. The problem is more that I am telling myself this story about what is marketing and what does it mean to do marketing and what does it mean to sell. Actually, in the next episode that's going to come out on Thursday, I'm going to be talking to Sandra Vanderlee, and something that we were talking about on our interview is about this whole resistance to selling. And she had a really nice reframe for what happens to your potential customers when you don't sell them anything. And I was actually sharing that I had this coach back in the day who used to always say selling is helping. And that kind of became my mantra. Like, I can't help you if I don't tell you about the service that I'm offering. And that's something that you may want to consider if you're allergic to all marketing and sales, because actually it can be fun if you make it fun. Now, another question that keeps coming up when it comes to social media and where you're actually going to be promoting your business and your show, other than do I have to be on all the platforms, is if I decide to not be on all the platforms, well, how do I pick the ones that I actually want to be on? Do I do the age-old thing of go to where your audience is, or do you just do you? And that's another one of those debates that just doesn't die. However, for that one, I have a really simple theory, and I would love to know what you think and feel about that, because I think a lot of this, you do have a really good gut feeling. So I believe that if your entire freaking audience is on Instagram, but you are not vibing with the platform, you're going to get way worse results to try and be on Instagram to get in with the cool kids than if you focus on being on Facebook, where you love to be, where you are yourself, where you interact with people in a way that is working for you, and you scoop up the 20% of your audience that are on Facebook versus the 80% that are on Instagram, and you put 80% of your social media effort to get that 20% of people, you will have way more money than if you only get a very small percentage of those people off of Instagram to become your customer, because you are behaving in a way and speaking in a way that is not genuine when you are on Instagram. So I feel that you are actually going to be distracting from your message. You are actually going to be adjusting to the platform that you're on rather than being yourself. And I think that that is going to get you way worse results than if you focus on the smaller audience and on building a really true freaking genuine relationship with the people on the platforms that you actually like to be on. So I can say that being in long form audio content, I don't see how me having a huge following on TikTok is going to help my long form audio content reach more people, because I don't want to make squirrel brain 30-second things. I want to create long form content that gets people to think about things, to reflect on their decisions, and to build things up for themselves. And I don't think that the people who I want to deal with want to be on TikTok wasting their whole day getting the dopamine hit after dopamine hit. I just don't think that those are my people. So I feel like even if I was very successful on that platform, I'm maybe attracting people to us who are not my people, who are not my ideal customer, who I don't want to be working with, because I feel like I constantly have to deliver them the next dopamine hit, or else it's not good enough, it's not entertaining enough. And I think that's really not what I'm here for. I have been working online for 6 years, and I have really slowly refined things and learned things and developed things. And that's what I'm interested in. That long-term, slow, steady, keep putting in effort to get some sort of result out at the end of it. So yeah, it just wouldn't work for me, and it wouldn't work for my content. I don't think that you can say something meaningful that generates true change, that is not just attention grabbing, in such short periods of time. So, to cut a long story short, I would argue for this point that you're going to be just way more effective at marketing when you do things that feel fun and easy to you, even if maybe the majority of your audience is somewhere else. You are allowed to build a business in a way that is fun and easy. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be long hours. I'm recording this legit at 8:43 p.m. right now, and I couldn't care less. I'm getting to try out my new mic I just bought. I wrote these notes earlier. I get to talk about something that I'm passionate about. This doesn't register to me as doing overtime. I'm just doing something that I like to do. This is better than sitting on my sofa looking at TikTok, as far as I'm concerned. So, I would love to know where you're choosing to connect with your audience. Like I said, the place that I like to use is actually Facebook, because I can write and I can have conversations and they make sense and the buttons are big enough to press. So you'll find me mostly on Facebook. We actually have our own group. So if you search for Podcasting for Experts community on Facebook, you will totally find us. So if you haven't joined yet, if you're interested in talking about podcasting and having a genuine conversation and asking questions and working together on getting better at what it is that we do, then yeah, come and join us. I would love to actually talk to you. Alrighty, so I think that's it for this episode. We had a good rant about social media and about whether we have to be there or not. If you enjoyed the show, our entire team would, of course, appreciate it if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. As always, I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you for the next one.
That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you. If you are looking for a community where you can brainstorm with like-minded podcasters and business owners, then don't forget to check out our Facebook group. You can find it at pristinepodcast.com/group. The link, as always, is also in the show notes.